Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video and gameplay. Today we are bringing back an old favorite, Teemo's Sin. This is a Teemo Lee Sin deck, and I built this deck at the start of the Rising Tides expansion, long before Lee Sin was ever buffed to the state that he is now, long before Targon and Overwhelm Lee Sin was a thing. And yeah, the reason I did it was just because the two have pretty well natural synergy together. There's a lot of followers that Teemo has that help out Lee Sin to level up and then also create like his win condition, so that's great. Yeah, and it's just super fun to play. I actually really enjoy Teemo. It's fun building decks around him. He's kind of a hard champion to use just because of his stat line. Really easy to take out. There's a lot of cards that can deal damage to him, but yeah, we had a couple of card changes that have buffed Teemo a little bit. The change to Make It Rain, I think, has helped quite a bit, as well as I guess the buff to Lee Sin as well in this particular deck. So yeah, pretty fun. Let's go through the deck list here and talk about how we actually play this deck. So we have a lot of spells. We've got most of Teemo's followers in this deck because we can win through the alternate win condition of puff caps with this particular deck. The only thing that we need to do is include a couple of spells that can protect Teemo. So we have 2 retreat, and that is basically the extent of our protection. Now we got a couple of others like concussive palm can help out a little bit, but yeah, we've got retreat that helps us take out Teemo and then automatically just put him back in if we need to. Yeah, and then we're running his followers, so we've got Clump of Wumps, we've got Chump Wump, and we've got the Puff Cap Peddler. All these cards are meant to get more Puff Caps into the deck and then help our enemy draw those Puff Caps and deal a ton of damage to themselves. Alright, now as well, when Lee Sin was changed, we had a change to his signature spell turning into Sonic Wave. So Sonic Wave is actually really good in this deck because that can give us more damage on our Teemo, grants us challengers so that we can pull potential elusive units that would block Teemo to our other units and just help him make contact with the Nexus as well. So Sonic Wave is actually a huge addition in this deck, is producing more spells and more opportunities to deal damage, which is also great. Alright, and yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Puff Cap Peddler. So the Puff Cap Peddler is pretty important in this deck. Every time you cast a spell, you're planting 3 additional poison Puff Caps on random cards into the enemy deck. So so if we can introduce a lot of spells into this deck and include a lot of these spells in this deck that have multiple spells that result from them, we get more value out of the Puff Cap Peddler. So things like the Sonic Wave, we've got Deep Meditation, Static Shock, which is drawing a card, we've got the Chump Wump and the Clump of Wumps that are producing their Mushroom Clouds for 1 mana. We've got Flash of Brilliance. We're running a full set of Flash of Brilliance for that very reason. This counts as a spell, and then it's producing even more spells on top of that. I'm running 2 of Trail of Evidence, which is kind of the same thing. There's a chance of getting units, but there's also a good chance of getting a 2-cost spell. And then keep in mind as well that the Clump of Wumps is also a 2-cost card, as well as Eye of the Dragon, which are 2 very good cards to include into the deck because we're getting more Puff Caps from this Clump of Wump. And yeah, Trail of Evidence is actually just a pretty solid card all around in this deck. So anyway, yeah, we got all these spells. We're leveling up Lee Sin. We're planting Puff Caps into the deck. We've got Puff Caps in general from these followers that we're putting into the deck. So multiple ways to win. We can win off reach from the Puff Caps, and we can win off Lee Sin at the end of the game, which is super fun as well. So anyway, that's about the gist of this deck. You should definitely try it out. I really enjoy playing it. A lot of people don't know really how to play against it or react against it as well. So yeah, pretty fun. Anyway, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks. Okay, we're going against Karma Lux, Demacia, and Ionia. So, kind of late game control deck, I'd imagine. Not too many things there that we need to be super worried about. Okay. I kept Trail of Evidence just to have a turn 2 play in case I needed it. There's a good chance that we get a unit from this, so hold on to that. We end up getting Teemo, which is great. I don't think he's going to have a turn 1 play that's going to be able to deal with me, so I might as well get some mushrooms into his deck. These Puff Caps. There we go. Alright, that's fine. Let's go ahead and do Chump of Wumps here. Clump of Wumps, Chump Wump. Can never remember what the name is. Alright. If he doesn't have anything here, we can get a burst speed level up with Teemo. Well, I guess we'll have to hit first, but we can get a burst speed level up. So let's go ahead and just open attack here. Awesome. Alright, no capture quite yet, so let's go ahead and put out our Puffcap Peddler. And we can end the round. So he could have single combats. There is the potential for that. Let's see, I would like to get my Claws of the Dragon out as well. Okay, so he doesn't have Challenger yet. There's no potential for him to actually be able to use a... Let's go like this. Sonic Wave. Alright, I'm gonna say okay here. Because I can get burst speed. 2 Claws of the Dragon out actually. I actually still think this is okay. Alright, I don't think I'm going to play Lee Sin this turn. So yeah, we're going to level up the Teemo here. We are going to use Sonic Wave. What are the chances this guy has? I was gonna say, what are the chances this guy has something like Judgment? So I am a little bit hesitant to attack with everything here. Okay, this is fine. Yeah, he used a 3-cost spell to get rid of my 2-cost unit, so I'm fine with that. We also put a ton of puff caps into his deck, just barely, which is also great. And he hasn't played his 6-cost card yet. If he open attacks here, ooh, that's pretty good actually. I think yeah, we gotta be okay with him just doing that, to be honest. And I don't think I'm gonna block this other card here. Fast speed spell. I think we just put out the Chump Wumps here. And yeah, we can end the round. He does have a Detain. I would like to get a Teemo here, and I don't get it, but well, I tried. I think we can put out the Lee Sin. So I want him to detain the Lee Sin so that I can use Sonic Wave to kill whoever he doesn't detain. So he's at 10 mana right now. He could have more barriers.
Side by side, into battle.
Conflict is all in the mind.
Yeah, that's what we expected. That's fine. Perfect, actually. Alright, so this is okay. The reason why this is okay is because we've got this.
I've always been a fun guy.
Whoop, I did that wrong.
The dragon remembers.
You look guilty.
Perfect.
Force is meaningless without skill.
Savagery without grace.
61 puff caps, and he used all of his mana this round, so that's perfect. Lee Sin is at 7 of 8. And he drew 3 mushrooms, that's really good. So here's his Lux. Let's go ahead and use Flash of Brilliance just to get more mushrooms in. And if we get Singular Will, that's actually really funny. Anyway, at this point, I think what we can do is just pass it back to him and see if he open attacks here. He knows I've got a mushroom buff cloud here, so I think actually what I'm going to do is this. So this will give me barrier. Let's see if he's got single combat. No single combat. That gives me barrier. Takes her barrier off and puts a puff cap into the deck, which is great. And our opponent surrenders. So yeah, he probably would have drawn the mushrooms there to kill him. So surrender is probably the right move. Yeah, I think the key part of that game was waiting for him to use the detain. Because I knew he had it. I knew he was going to use it, especially if I had the Lee Sin out. I would never put Lee Sin down if I didn't have the means to take out the tough unit. I can't remember what its name is. So that was pretty important. He wasted a ton of mana doing that, and then just ultimately it kind of came back to bite him. So anyway, yeah, pretty good gameplay there. Pretty happy with that.